Extra-factory in line model using Calgary and Germany, as well as aloe vera in line model. Her innovative research has led to the development of patents demonstrating her commitment to sustainable and eco-friendly development. In addition to her health achievements, Dr. S. Tirumali has received numerous awards and recognition for her contribution to the field of patents, conservation, and development. She has been prestigious awards such as the Research Award from India, New Delhi, and have been the recipient of visiting research fellowship from institutions such as Fellow Slovenian National Building and Civic Engineering Institute at the University of Pisa, Italy. Dr. Srinivas dedication to her research and passion for preserving our cultural heritage make her a highly respected figure in the field. We are privileged to have her with us today to share her expertise and insights. Please join us in extending a warm welcome to Dr. Srinivas. So, how many of you can understand English? Okay, how many of you can understand English? Okay, so if you don't know anything, if you don't understand something in the middle, you please stop me. I can explain you in Tamil also. Right? உங்களுக்கு ஏதாவது புரியலனா என்ன ஸ்டாப் பண்ணுங்க இல்ல end of the session question கேளுங்க. I am ready to answer in Tamil also. A little bit in Malayalam also. If you want me to speak in Malayalam, I am ready to speak in Malayalam and Telugu. Okay. So let's start the session today. So I want to talk about the small historic materials and heritage in India. So I am from London Institute of Technology, CO2 CO2 Research and Green Technology Center. You may be wondering why I am from CO2 Center and then I am working on heritage structures. Definitely, at the end of the session, you will get an answer why I am working with CO2 Center. Okay. Divided the presentation into five different categories. Maybe the last one, if there is no time, if I don't find the time, just I would like to skip the last one. But anyway, I'll do some little bit introduction in natural fitness also. Okay, so let's think, start with some basics. So you will understand why we are here together to study something on heritage structure and what is happening across the globe and what is the research work or what they do with the historic materials or heritage buildings across the world. That we will discuss today. So why we are here? Why we are here? See, an heritage is also similar to a modern building. There is lot of cement, many new materials are there, many chemicals are there. We build tall buildings, skyscrapers, 500 story, 200 story, Burj Khalifa, many buildings are there. Empire State City, some in USA, in New York, many buildings are there. We have so much knowledge in it. material. Why do you want to study exclusively on historic material? It has some historical value, okay? It has some history, it has a value. Okay, very good answer. Any other answers, guys? It's very strong, very good. Uh, Very good. So he said without any modern technology at that time they have made physics structures. As he said, the durability is good. It can live for 1,000 years. So you have good basics. Very good. Any other answers, guys? Okay, let's see different perspectives. So I'll go to the introduction first. So my question is, you all know we are all very rich in cultural heritage. Exclusively, I will talk on built heritages today. So we have, apart from cultural built heritage, we have other heritages also. So we have an extraordinarily rich, vast, vast in sense. We have 29 states across all 29 states from east to west, north to south. It's full of heritage buildings, right? It's full of heritage buildings and diverse cultural heritages. And India is the only country in this entire world which has mosques, which has church, which has temples. Right? You can't see this combination in any other country in any part of this world. Right? If you go Oman, UAE, all these countries, you can see 20 mosques. If you go to Europe or USA or Canada, you can see only churches. But India is the one picture of all these things, and we are but the word UNESCO has classified, he's giving a tag called UNESCO World Heritage Structures. Unfortunately, we stand seven, though we have so much heritage structures in India. Unfortunately, we stand on the seventh position, Italy being the first, which has been having a lot of World UNESCO Heritage Structures. Why we stand seven? That's a big argument. We have to go for many what to say the arrangements, not arrangements. You have to follow the protocol. How you propose a heritage site to the UNESCO. There are many problems here. We'll discuss about that. So far, there are out of one structure, 37 is in India, and this number is keep increasing in recent years. Last year, the enough space and the enough space around the structure has to be there. Unfortunately, we don't have space around this. You know, all the shops, everything will be at the historic buildings. That is one reason. And 3,670 ancient monuments. This is the old data, guys. This is maintained by ASI. And Tamil Nadu alone, the state archaeology department has 248 structures. So as I said, it's all with your temples, monuments, everything. Okay, so now some of this, you know, this word renewed structures. Great Wall of China, built around the China, and then you have Tanjore Big Temple, Taj Mahal, many structures includes under the World Heritage Monument. Several, very few structures are with the ASI. Right? I'll give you an example. I don't know, Tamil Nadu government alone has 38,000 structures. Right? Tamil Nadu state government alone has 38,000 structures. In UNESCO, see, this is in one state in India. And in UNESCO, only 37 structures are from entire India itself. See the scenario. And then you see the ASI is having, the ASI is the Central Archaeological Department maintained by the Government of India. It has having only 3,600 structures across the entire India, right? But Tamil Nadu alone has 38 structures. So what happens to the other structures now? State government, state archaeology department has 2,000, uh, uh, 248, not 2,000, 248 structures. So So much structures are not under anybody's control. It is either a private party, somebody's ancestral house, ancestral temple, something like that. So, so much structures are without care left as such. So what that is due to no maintenance. I don't even say an improper maintenance, no maintenance. We don't have enough money to see into the structure or look after the structure. So daily one structure is disappearing from India, right? So called we say we have cultural value, we are rich in cultural heritage, we are rich in built heritages, but daily one structure we are losing this. So this is the scenario about the heritage buildings or heritage monuments in India. Let's see the reason. What is happening to these structures? First of all, we don't have enough knowledge, right? I don't understand the structure. Well, how it is. See, I take the example three structures. One structure was built by Krishnadevara. One structure was built by some Pallavas. One was built by some Qutub Shah, right? He was a Mughal rule. One was built by British people, right? So I have taken four structures now. I don't understand them. What was there in mind? How they built it? We don't know what material that guy has used, right? See, now I'm constructing my own house. Let me imagine I'm going to construct my house. I decided that I want to do marble flooring. So I search for a marble flooring and I find out Rajasthan marbles are good. So I go to Rajasthan and buy a Rajasthan marble. It's quite constructive, right? This is what I want to do. I don't know what to do, right? So we don't know. Actually, it's a mystery. We don't know inside. We don't know what material they have used, how they have used this material, how they have processed this material. Nothing we know, right? So and then these are all like we don't understand them. And one important thing is everyone wants food three times. We need food for survival, right? See, I can't say, see, I am a person who wants to save cultural heritage, so I don't want food. I don't want to make anything for my living. So I just want to go out and find out something for cultural heritage. No, first of all, I think about my sustainability. I have to have a job. I need to save my family. So this is my priority. So I don't have a time to think about heritages in India. Okay? So then we have different lifestyle. Okay, we are not the same old persons like my father or somebody who lived in 80s. We have big changing lifestyles. So we are not interested about the heritage buildings nowadays. Whenever we have some function or mom insists, we go to a temple, right? Otherwise, you want to roam with your friends. So definitely there is no thing. So what is happening? So there is no difference. Ultimately, we are losing the structures one by one. This is what is happening in India. Okay, so can you mention what is it? This is called the terracotta wall, right? Usually, how will you make a wall? You make a wall with some bricks or some stones in the ancient times, and then they just use a marker, or it can be a no marker building also, and then we do. But these guys have taken a clay. Okay, they have taken a clay and then they made some sculptures in it. The clay has been molded into different. See, each one is different. You can see each one is a different. It shows a story. If I go in this row, it shows a story from one stone to one. It's not a stone. It's a terracotta brick. From one stone to this thing, I can read something on Ramayana or Mahabharata, right? So each stone with a fail, each one they made it and they fired it around 1600 degrees Celsius. They burned it similar to a brick and they made this wall. Okay, so this can't even come near the 3D printing what we do now. We talk very proud about ourselves. We do 3D printing in concrete or something which doesn't even come near this. Okay, so this is a terracotta wall. Okay, if you know Brahmeshwara temple, Kolkata. It's in Kolkata. Yeah, both are UNESCO sites, right? Yeah. Okay. So what is the advantage of these two UNESCO sites, the Saraswat as well as this Brahmeshwara temple is it's famous for geometry. See, each and every stone which you count has certain set of geometry. you what your A plus B whole square or something does not tell you that this calculations will clearly tell you how they have made this. Okay, so you start from the foundation to the top of the structure. All the load calculations are done properly. Okay, they have few tons of stone at the top of the structure, but till bottom the load carrying capacity is perfect, which we don't know how to do it now. Okay, you know what is it? Can you imagine what this is? It's a pillar, it's a column, right? This is in Halipedu in Karnataka. Halipedu, Karnataka. And this is one. So it's recently we are working with this project in Karnataka with the Central Archaeological Survey of India, along with the Slovenian universities. This stone, you see, it's a different thing. You feel like it is sent to a lake and then it has been carved. If you put something in a lake fission in a metal, it looks like this. Do you know how this? We are researching it. Okay, this is the soapstone. It's called a soapstone. You know the specialty of the soapstone. The soapstone is very soft when it is under the ground. Right? The talc is the weakest material. Its hardness comes around 2 to 3. So it is under the ground. It's the weakest material. So when you take it out, and you can make any carvings. So this guy used the coconut threads to make this type of carvings, to make this type of thing. And when they use it as a column, what happens is it hardens. Once it's exposed to atmosphere, it starts hardening, and the hardness comes to around 8, more or less similar to it can reach up to diamond also. The hardness can reach to diamond also. We don't know this. I don't know what is a stone. Being a civil engineer, I have studied geology, what is a natural stone, all these things. Still, I don't know soapstone can behave this unless I find the structure. Okay, and there are thousands of such columns. These have been carved differently and they took soft stone and then they made this and then they made the stand. This structure is 800 years old. Okay, so can you see here it's the corner, this corner. Again, one more column that looks totally different. Okay, this corner that is totally different. So this is one marvel, engineering marvels. Okay, so now what is that initiative taken by Government of India? Is the Government of India aware of so much effort? Definitely they should be aware. And there is archaeology departments are there. Unfortunately, very less number of people are there. They can't manage. Which I am telling you, you have a potential future if you try to learn more about the heritage buildings and try to work on this. Right? Because definitely Government of India wants more people. You know, Government of India is going to start heritage some at a bigger level. Okay, they are aiming at heritage tourism at a bigger level. There is a fund called Sri Fund from Government of India, which is around 2,000 crores for every year, which says that we submit a research proposal on any innovative work will be given in the proposal. Right? There is also some historic departments from Government of India which sanctions these type of projects. And also it also comes under CSR funds. You have to take care of that also. Okay. So now what the Government of India makes? The current government emphasizes a lot on heritage tourism. So they want the capacity building, like educate people about the heritage values of India. Right? You have so much effort, so they want to educate them. They are trying to provide some technical solutions to the challenges in the conservation and restoration of monuments, and also they are encouraging us to do lot the research works on this thing to find out each and everything what is exactly happening in the structures, how this structures are going to provide an input for the modern buildings. That's what I exactly work, right? I just don't do an R&D on my old buildings, but also I take a lot of inputs from those buildings and exactly apply to see that how that is fine, how it is suitable for the current modern environment. That is what I exactly work. I will tell you then what I exactly do it. So these are some of my research areas. I do on monument restoration. I do a characterization and simulation study. I study on organic additives, biomineralization studies, carbon capturing technologies, production of nanolines, inputs from durability studies and climate response, line sandwich materials from excavation sites because I was being consultant for Government of India on periodic site Pulam site, as well as now Adichanallur site. These three excavation sites I'm working with Government of India. Currently, only with that two projects are closed. Now I'm working on this Adichanallur site with the state government, central government. Okay, so let's come to the reverse engineering technology. I will before going into the slides. I would what is this? You may not understand what I'm going to talk now. What is why it is coming to reverse engineering technology? This is applicable for all materials in heritage building, right? Okay. I will I'll ask few questions and then we'll try to understand what is reverse engineering technology. So we find out what is really happening here. What are the different cements available in market? OPC, PPC. Now many cements are there, right? Ordinary cement, Portland cement, sulfur resistant cement, white cement, n number of cements are available. Okay, do you know what is all it? What is OPC? What is how many branded cements are there? Can you name some brands? Hydratek, Ambuja, many cements are there. Okay, so if you want to know what is this cements, okay, if I want to know, see, two people are producing PPC cement. PPC cement means pozzolanic cements. Okay, many companies, Ramco is producing pozzolanic cement. Ultratech is also producing pozzolanic cement. Suppose if I want to know this two different types of cements, I can call the company, or the company is more responsible to give me the details of what is the material is made up of. One uses the fly ash for making a PPC cement. One can use an GGPS or something for making a cement. So I'll ask him, sir, what will be the strength on 28th day if I use this cement? That guy has a responsibility to tell me the answer because he has established, he has already tested the material in the laboratory and he gives me the result. Right? So these are some of the materials which we use in modern construction. Suppose if I going to do a core cut, I just want to cut this using a machine, this ball, and I can tell you exactly what details. It is made up of brick, what is the size of the brick, what is the demand marker used, what is the plaster, what is the paint, everything I will give you the data. Okay, what I'm going to do with my heritage buildings, what I'm doing now. What is that the restoration which we are doing now? Do I have any option that anybody has written me what is the material they have used? Is there any information which is available like this is the material used, this was the construction, this was made this like this? No. But in very few structures, these people have written something on the inscriptions of the particular structure. You know what is the meaning? Even if you go to a temple now, right? What happens is at the end of the day, one person from the temple in charge, he comes in the front of the god and he submits a day report. The day report means accounts of the particular day at the night before God, which means it states that I am very honest in the money which was generated from that, and then I am submitting this money to the front of God. In that way, these people have written in some inscription or some form note. I got Kadikai for this much. I got jewelry for this much. I got limestone for this much. Like that, they have maintained some accounts note. That accounts note says that the people have used certain materials. That is in very rare case, which means that in not in all the temples, in somewhere in some location it has been done there. Okay, that may be useful for that particular structure, but not. So, what sort of restoration we are doing? Restoring. Restoring is I'm just finding out some problem. My structure is getting damaged because of its age, and just I want to restore it. Okay, I want to make it back to good condition. There is only one rule in restoration. Everybody should keep it in mind. There is only one rule in restoration. What is the rule is respect the original architect. Right? Respect the original architect, which is not happening in India now. But what is the respect the original architect is? See, suppose I want to construct a house in 50 lakhs. It is my house, right? I made some plans. My bedroom should be like this. Orientation of the building should be like this. So I made some plan. Okay, after the 100 years, in bed, somebody is going to occupy this house, and that guy wants to renovate it in a new, different way. But in heritage buildings, that is not permitted as per NSC. You have to respect the person who has done the building, and it has to be restored to show that this woman lived in this house and she has this perspective of the house. It has to be maintained till it reaches the last generation. Okay, so this is what we have to respect the original architect. I can't, since I am an engineer for Madurai Meenakshi Amman temple, I can't go and construct four columns in front of the temple. I am not permitted. Right. So what type of restoration is happening now? Whether it is supported by government or state government, what sort of restoration is happening now? The restoration which is happening now, maybe there is no proper research on it. Okay, and most of the times it ends up in a danger or it ends up in a big problem. When we try to address a small problem, it may end up in a bigger problem. Okay, so how do you want me to explain this? How then explain this to you is suppose I tell, hey, this guy is having sugar. I'm telling you, this guy has seen his face. I understand he's having sugar. That guy is having pressure. He's just staring at me like this. So definitely we should have when this lady will finish it. She is boring. So something is staring at me. So definitely that guy is having some pressure. Right? He has some skin wound that somebody is having some throat infection. Please, I'm telling you everything. So maybe I must be equivalent to God, right? Right? I must be equivalent to God. See your favorite stuff I'm telling you. I don't have the power of healing you, but that's a feeling. It's happening in your life. People go, visit, make a visual inspection, see that, oh, there is a crack. We need to close it. Oh, this motor is falling down. So we need to close this. Oh, this is happening. We need to do this. Okay, this is a general restoration practice which can be done for a small, simple things. Okay, if I am saying this guy is having sugar, that guy is having pressure, or that guy is having something else, what I should do? He has to go for a blood test. He has to go for a pressure test. Right? So definitely this has to be done. That gives me a proof. Simply I can't say this. So restoration of any monument is a doctor's job. Okay, this is a doctor. Where if a doctor, it's more than a doctor. Why it's more than a doctor? Because why it's more than a doctor? A doctor gets a patient. The patient talks. He says, "I have this problem. I want to rectify." Yesterday, I went to a doctor. I said, "Doctor, I have a severe throat infection and I have fever. Please help me in this regard." Something else, I talked to a doctor, but my buildings don't talk to me, but I am a doctor. So you need to understand what is it. So even if you talk also, your doctor asks you to go and take a blood test. Let's see if you have a sugar or not. Go and do an infection test. Here's our report. Let me see whether you have a throat infection or not. So there is lot of such tests have to be conducted, and finally you decide what is the problem, major problem, minor problem, no problem, or something like that. So definitely a damage assessment is required. So definitely you have to go for a scientific conservation than a visual conservation. Okay, this is the problem with the thing. So how do I do a scientific conservation? What happened? Okay, so, so that's So how do I know how to understand my old buildings first? What should I do to understand my old buildings? Because it doesn't talk to me, it doesn't say that I have these problems, so I need to understand these problems. So, this is methodology. Reverse engineering methodology, no? Please, whatever you do in a straightforward way, do it in a backward way. Right? So, take the sample from the structure and try to analyze what is this exactly the sample is made of. Okay, so suppose let us take one heritage building which has built with a stone and they have used some sort of clay mortar or something. Okay, so let me first understand what stone it is, what clay mortar they have used. Okay, then if I understand that, then wherever there is a repair or whatever the major repair, I can try to address it by with my formula, right? So now, is it possible for me to go and take a hammer and directly go and give a smash and take some pieces and find out what is the material it is made up of? Even if I understand, even if I take out some material from that, is it possible for me to find out similar and a tough task for me to analyze this. So the first thing is you need to take some samples from the world buildings. So if it's the government of India or some UNESCO society is permitting, it's permitted with certain restrictions. It is permitted with lot of conditions. 2 weeks back, I took some samples from Mahabalipuram Shore Temple. Okay, you know it's a world UNESCO site. They don't even allow you to touch it. Right. I wrote first mail to my director stating that we are doing this research. It was like, this is the title of the research, these are the things we want to do it, this thing. He said me, Madam, you are permitted in this inside the site with all your students, but you are not allowed to touch the structure. Then I again replied him, so without touching the structure, how would I get a samples? Then I also suggested him, sir, can I collect some samples which you already fallen from the structure and you have saved it in your lab or something else? He said, no, madam, you won't give. Literally what we did, though, we did like a stone picking on the floor. Right? We went around the structure. Five of my students along with me, we went around the structure. That permission alone we got. Finally, we wrote a mail to Delhi and then final permission was that this is the permission. Okay, so we were just comparing the stones from the structure and we took few samples from this. Floor cutting and then take one big brickwork from that and see that whether whether I can take a sample and go for a compressive testing mission and make a test and find out what was the compressive strength of the stone. It's not possible. Because what is happening is we can't even touch the structure. Sometimes we can't take a mass sample or a brick or a stone from the structure. So the quantity of stones or the quantity of the sample which I have to take from a structure is always restricted. It can be few grams. Okay, so if I take two powders and few small pieces of stone, then I test it in a compressive strength machine. Is it possible for me to do a tensile strength or something like that? Is it possible for me to work out in any of the lab experiments which is available in our labs? It's not possible for me. So I need to go for an advanced, sophisticated techniques where few grams of sample is sufficient to give me the history of the sample what is used. Okay, so that's what my reverse engineering methodology says. Go and do a characterization of the markers which you exactly want to do. Okay, so when you do a characterization techniques, I will tell you what are the techniques. Then, based on the results from this, you can know what type of line they have used, whether any clay is added or not, what is the aggregate to binder ratio inside it, is there any presence of organics are there, or whether how the material is hard, whether it is a very harder material or a softer material or what it is made up of. Like that, you will get many answers from that. And then, based on these answers, go and select the new materials. Like based on this answer, go and select the materials which is similar to the same material, and then what you do is then you try to make the same material and see the compatibility in the old structure. If both goes well together, then that is the right mortar which the structure is accepting. This is what we have to do. Now, this is what I have given as a step 1, step 2, step 3. The final step should be you have to go and test on the original structure and find out what it is. Okay. Now, Okay, let's say let us what is characterization now. Why I want to do characterization? Because there is only a small quantity of samples are only, and then I need to do a characterization. How do I do? Right? See the same thing what you apply to your body. I just imagine yourself as a doctor always, and then always you have to do the same thing what a doctor does to a patient. Okay, now if my bone is fractured, I go to take what you take X-ray. I also take an X-ray for my material. Okay, so I have some problem in my stomach. I want to see what is inside. Okay, what do you do? A scan. Same thing. We do a scan for the my material. So you do all the X-ray, scanning, all the things to the material, and finally find out what is that exactly this material is made up of. This also gives you what is the level of damage on the structure. Okay. There is also many ways of doing this. This is about the material analysis. If I want to do the entire full building, okay, if I want to do what is this entire. Recently, we did the Dwaraka temple at Gujarat for government of India. This was Dwaraka and also for the Porbandar where Gandhiji was born. Gandhiji's house, he did this survey. So you can use a radar survey because the science and technology is so advanced now. We can try to use many techniques to find its application in historic buildings. That's where we lack. That's where all the foreign countries are above us. Though they have very little amount of structures, they are very above us. What we did is we took one drone. It was a challenging task, but still we took one drone and then we also take one LiDAR. LiDAR is a laser scanner. Your laser scanner is available in your all Apple mobiles. Okay, it is available in your all Apple mobiles. It is available as a photogrammetry. Even you can do with your Apple mobiles, you can scan your historic buildings. That also we tried. Okay, because I gave this as my student project. Okay, now if we scanned this entire building, entire Dwaraka temple, it's very big. It is a free storage. We were there in the top storage for 3 days. We are just came down twice a day because it was like climbing so difficult. And you will have a small path like this, staircase, and the path will be very small, but all the bags will be there on your head. So you should not disturb these bats. Baba, you should not disturb these bats, and then you need to climb slowly to the top. So once you climb, we come down for in the evening for restroom. Again we go back. We are there for 3 days. 7 members were there. At the end of fifth day, when we completed the third floor survey, all 7 members got COVID. All 7 of us got COVID. Just few days. First infected the AS officer, then myself, then like this, all 7 of us got COVID. We did it in December 2021 in a very cold period. So we did a laser survey. We did a laser survey, and then we just mapped all the locations, and then we just classified each and every damage in the stone. Each and every damage we identified. We identified 15,000 damages in one story, and we classified them into no damage, mild damage, moderate damage, extreme damage. Okay, we gave solutions for no damage. All the 4 damage conditions, we gave solutions to the government of India. Now restoration is happening. They addressed immediately all the extreme damages. All the extreme damages were addressed immediately, and then this was carried out in Dwaraka. Now we are trying to carry out in Porbandar also. Right, somewhere. Okay, so reverse engineering methodology as well as the characterization of any material which you are trying to use is very, very important. Don't visualize anything from the restaurant, don't visualize anything from the structure, and don't conclude anything. Just if you don't have very advanced facility, I'm just telling you, at least do the basics and then try to understand the material and try to use it. See, when we started working on this very advanced characterization techniques at that time, it was all expensive. Now this has been reduced. The cost has reduced, so you can try to do it. Learn more from the literatures. There is a lot of literatures which is available. You can learn more from these literatures. Okay. Okay, guys. These are some of the projects very long back, some 10 years back I have done. So I would like to discuss some of the projects, like how exactly we identified certain things and how it was useful for us. And there are, you can search my name Tirumali, or you can search your professor's name Dr. Ravi. We have joint publications of certain papers. So you can read these papers. These papers give you a lot of information on how this is being done. This is my PhD topic. This is Vadatnathan Temple, Kerala. The temple is huge, and it's very important because it's 3,300 years back. Okay, so basically, we Indians just know the value of heritage monuments. 1,300 years back is massive, right? I used to visit a lot of foreign countries. I used to go and give lectures. I'm taking classes for Poland, Italian students. I do all these exercises. Currently, also, I'm teaching Poland students as well as a set of Italian students on cultural heritage restoration and everything. I was once in Greece. This December also, I was in Greece, right? I was visiting the museum, Acropolis Museum, right? It was huge, big one, because it was huge before two times visited. When I visited first time, I think Professor Ravi also came with us, but he was not with us for Acropolis. He was with, after some time. I was with my family at the time. So what happened is we roamed everywhere. The Acropolis Museum was recently built. That was a museum to display the Greek potteries. So I just got severe leg pain. I sat on the floor just like this. Usually we do at home, right? Because of the leg pain. Immediately six police people surrounded me. Stating that why you are sitting here, what happened like this. They're so conscious about that thing. Okay? And then when you go and touch this, immediately two police people will catch you. Security person. They are all police there. Catch it. Why are you touching its structure? Because when you enter itself, you have to sign a document stating that I won't do any damage to this. If I am damaged, criminal action can be taken against me. To go to a temple, we'll take some kumkumam vibhuti and then we will go and keep on the wall. Vijay loves Ramesh. And then you write your registration number. Very few. Definitely, love is more important than the examination number. So very few write your thing. So you will go and write this thing because you want your round to be strong and you feel like writing on the wall your round is successful. This is what we do Indians, right? We do this. I'm not blaming a common man. This is what done by even an educated person. Okay? This I don't know, this is emotional or something, but I am emotional about my cultural heritage. Right? This is what we do. That's what we don't respect our assets. That's what nobody respects us. We have so much we don't respect because we don't respect us. So keep it in mind. You are not going to do this in the future. If you have done previously, you are excused. Hereafter, you should not do this. Okay? Okay. So, why I said the Greek example was that was a building which was newly built, that was newly built. They are so conscious about the newly built structures. Okay, and even old, you can't even go and touch. You will be in jail. Okay, here we discuss. And this is 1,300 years old. I usually appreciate the Kerala government. Usually, they are more responsible. They do more research work. They do more restoration, proper restoration. Everything is done good in Kerala, right? So this is not my first step. Now recently we are going with the Padmanabhan from Palace for State Archaeology Department of Kerala. We have a state MOU with them and we are doing with the Padmanabhan Palace also. Now this temple has seen a lot of destruction. Now a lot of destruction is Tipu Sultan came to this temple to take away all the assets from the temple because this was richer. All the land around this temple belongs to this temple, and it was richer. And Tipu Sultan came and took lot of assets. So every time he came, this temple was being transformed to many, and many destruction happened. It was like this was being influenced. Sometimes this temple was this guy was Buddha. This was influenced by Jainism, Vaishnavism. Many things happened with this structure. Okay, what was the task now? They said there was some old material. This was done along with the Central Archaeology Department of Kitchur Circle, along with the World Monument name. So what was the problem is, they said, we are going to send this structure restoration to the Heritage Award, World Heritage Award. So whatever the class which they have given, this has to be exactly followed in that thing. So we want to find out what was the original material used. I 2 weeks back I visited this temple 2 weeks back. It's not even 2 weeks back, maybe 7 days back. I visited to this temple. I met the archaeological head. I was happy when I saw my reports there, and I'm very happy they followed the same proportion and everything what we have suggested in our paper. Even my paper was there. I'm very much happy they followed this one. So what the exact thing which we have to do here is the first point is this temple was renovated many times. So the first question we are unable to answer. What is the first question? What was the original material? We are unable to answer the first question. So what we did is these are some of the entrances. We took many samples from these entrances. I was unable to find out what was the original sample. The original sample which we found out is this blue shed that was a place where Rama shrine was there. Rama shrine was there, and then there were two slabs. The first slab was exactly above the Rama shrine in a 7 feet height, just 7 feet height. It was a low terrace, and there was a glass feet, and again one more slab was there. And there was a parapet wall. This was very small. So what we did is we asked permission for the KSI to get the sample above the Ramashine. What was why we selected Ramashine as a location, because this two slabs. Nobody would have opened this. I'm feeling nobody would have opened this. The original sample should be inside this slab. That was the thing which we assumed. So then ASA also agreed. For last 100 years, we don't have an evidence of the slab was opened, or definitely the original sample must be there. So then Kerala is a very complex state, and public is have so much awareness, and then whenever something happens, they immediately they put a public litigation, they make a case at the court. But it's good. They are asking us to be responsible. That's what I feel. So what happened is my ace and he was also part of the project. He was in charge for World Monument. He said, Molly, we'll do it in a proper way that nobody questioned. So we called 10 common man from that locality who has to witness the sampling procedure. They let the witness. We called newspaper people. We called newspaper people. So let them report it. We asked them to videograph the location when we take samples. And then we were going up. I thought like, and then I asked permission whether a woman can go inside the shrine and take the samples. Then finally they said you can go inside and take the samples because the ASF said what you are expecting inside we can't take it, so you try to go low. So when I jumped into the slab from the top, I jumped into the slab. There was a big nail that went into my leg. So there is unfortunately, Myla, there was no blood which came out because if there is small drop of blood, then the temple will be closed in Kerala and then they do all puja and then only it will be reopened. So immediately I came out and I went out of the temple. Why Because it was like I felt like after making so much arrangement with the Kerala government, if this is not going to happen, then it's a big loss for me. I can't proceed with project. Then my dog was 4.5 years old. So I 4.5 years old. I made her to jump inside and they took the sample. I still have the photographs. They made us to jump inside, and then somebody made some video call from that point, and then we tried to take the sample from that location. So this is what we have done, taken the sample from this site, and then because that gave us exactly what was the original water. Okay, so now what was the thing is, these four different types of herbs were used in that market. Okay, what is the specialty about these four different types of herbs? Why I'm talking about this herbs is, again guys, no other country in the world has has not produced such a better material than India. Okay, such a high quality material nobody has produced in the entire world. Either it is Romans, Greece, anybody. Right? And best thing is nowadays whatever the material which we use it, we use lot of chemicals. Right? A census shows 2,500 chemicals is being used by the average man starting from toothpaste, which is made up of fluoride. Okay, so now these ancestors have used all the organic plant extracts. Okay, and then you produce some water which is strong as well as which is highly durable. Okay, so what this is called, these are all local leaves, these just brought for the botanical leaves. This is called Kulamavu, it looks like a thick leaf. This is called Kulamavu, and that is your finally called, it's called as cotton seeds, and this is called Undan Valley, and this is Kadakal. These are all also mixed with gravity, and then they made one mortar which can live for years, which lives for years, not like your cement. When you open a bag of cement, you have to finish the cement bag in 1 or 2 days. After that, it becomes useless. This can be useful even after a century. You can use this material even after a century. That's a specialty. So just since know this was used. What is that? First of all, there was a script which was written in their point. It says that these are the thoughts used. But they did, I was unable to understand what was the proportion they have used. So which I have to add, whether this is 5%, 10%, 15%, 20%, I don't know how to add. Right? Your mom makes 60%, your mom makes 5. Right? Today, 4 people at home. Tomorrow, this same 10 people, she knows the proportion. How much to do without weight. That's what we are doing here. I don't know what is the proportion. I need to know what is this proportion we use, whether really there is a purpose of using this. Okay, I have two options. I see those. Why they added organic filters? When you want to think they are brilliant. They have made something new with this. So there are two options, like a coin, two sides. So what is happening now is the screen is not working. Okay. So this is garlic. So usually they make we made a big plants cut and cut pieces. These are all the new bases, and this is what the lime water is stored. When you make it this, and then when you keep it like this you can store for decades and centuries. Okay, so a material which can be stored. So now it's my part now. We just there was one person I need to thank. I used to thank him in each and every consultation. There was one person called Sita Raman, right? He only generally goes to the forest because these herbs are available in the distant forest. He only goes to the forest and brings these herbs to me. Okay, so this was written in the text. I did one small survey among the local people who are more than 100 years old. Because the new generation, we don't know anything. Right? We know WhatsApp, we know Facebook, we know Instagram. Other than that, we don't know anything. So we found those guys, 100 years old, I asked them how you built this house. Did you use this house? We did lot of survey, secondary surveys. Finally, we defined this. This is the procedure to be used. Now, what is that is, we tested this. Each herb has played a role. Each one was playing a role. One was increasing the strength. A combination of two was increasing the durability. One was acting like a waterproof. Okay, one was reducing the force of the mortar, making a solid dense. So they are highly knowledgeable. 1300 years back, they used these materials for the construction. So when you see this, you may wonder what is this images. I told you, if you have a stomach pain, you do a scan. So these images are scanned on the materials. This is nothing but a scanning electron microscope image. What we have done on the screen. Maybe it is not better on the screen. Maybe it's good in my laptop. Okay. So there is no calcite formation. Calcite formation is calcium chloride, calcium carbonate formation. There are no calcium carbonate formations. If I did this material without this organics, there was no calcite formation at all. So I understood this organics rate, and you see the marker is very dense. No pores are completely reduced. No cracks. So it has lot of advantages. This is my this is my PhD work. So these were the basic ingredients which we used in processing of this material. And at the late stage, there was the combination of lime was also used. We tried to use it with the shell limes. Okay, now let's go to another case study. This is a Kalam Coastal Temple. This was done along with, I think you people all know this, right? Salam. Because some of you are from Mahabalipuram, so you should be definitely knowing this temple. Maybe this is a new spot for many people. I don't know how would describe. Now, this is very interesting case study. We did it with along with the central ASI Chennai circle. Now, this is a history. There was tsunami 1,000 years back. In the Mahabalipuram shore, there was a tsunami 1,000 years back. You know, five pagodas and all these things. Seven pagoda, and there was a harbor, natural harbor. There was a natural harbor. So what? The tsunami, lot of them went inside the sea. So if you have an opportunity to visit Mahabalipuram, just hire a boat. The local boat people will give you the boat, and then you can have all your life jackets, everything, and go inside to see nautical miles. You can see huge structures inside the sea. Huge, massive structures inside the sea. There are lots of structures are inside the sea than outside. Only 10% of the total structure of Mahabalipuram is present on the shore. Remaining everything is in the sea. So what is 1,000 years back there was a tsunami and then few structure went inside. In 2004, right? In 2004, December 26, there was a tsunami when few structures came out, which was in the sea. Few structures came out. So this was excavation done by Archaeological Survey of India. When we see that, that was a Murugan temple. It was a Murugan temple, and then this entire Subramania complex with it was different phases of construction. It showed a stone work, it showed a brick work, it showed different forms of bricks, different things were there. And then many lancasters were considered from the Sangam age, probably 2,400 years old. 2,400 years old, but definitely it should be a maybe they say there is some line from Sangam age because of the carbon dating, but definitely it must be from Pallava region because Pallava people were just doing this entire Mahabalipuram, Rama temples, everything from Pallava region, so definitely from the Pallava region. This was the temple better series this is wrong. And these are all brickwork, and this is your Murugan way, and all this stuff. So the question is, the research was asked to the carry out whether this structure is subjected to any salt effect. Right? You know what is the salt of sea? At least some civil engineers can answer. Definitely, if you have studied environmental engineering, principles of environmental science, many subjects you would have studied. Sodium chloride, but what is the percentage? See, what is the percentage of salt in your water? All salt together it is measured as TDS, total dissolved salts. If you can have maximum of 500, it's a drinkable form, it can have maximum of 500. What is in the sea? The salt content is 40,000. Okay, so one structure, one old building was inside the sea for 1,000 years. In sea, in soil, right? You think of that what structure, right? What has happened to the structure? So the analysis was carried out stating that, see, guys, you tell me when the time is up. I don't want to take much of the time, but my watch is not working. So, okay, so now, what's the time now? 12:50. So you finished after 15 minutes, not over. Okay. So now what happens is, this research was carried out. How much amount of salt went into the material? Whether the structure remains the same as it is in the shore or it is on the inside the sea. Offshore and onshore studies were carried out. So when you see this, they have used a lot of brickwork, different shapes of brickwork were formed. You can see the line water in the structure, very clean, crystal clear, very clean, no final formation. You can see, if you see some line waters or something in the rainy season, the பாசி படிஞ்ச மாதிரி இருக்கும், பூ பூத்த மாதிரி இருக்கும், fungal infection will be there. So, but it is not there. And to my surprise, these people have used a lime-free, similar to a concrete, not lime water. What is lime? What is concrete? Concrete is something you make it with cement, fine aggregate, sand, as well as your jelly, coarse aggregate. These people also attempted to do the same with a lime, okay, with a lime instead of cement, with the lime, and the river sand. It is a sea sand, not river and sea sand. Along with lime shells of aggregate. They used big lime shells to produce this aggregate. When we tested this marker, this was on the surface exactly. When we tested the break, not there was B% salt content. Do you believe there is no salt content in this material because there was gelatinous layer on the surface which never allows the salt to come inside the structure. They know technology. When you build a building near the seashore, the effect of salt is there, so that never allows this layer never allows the salt intrusion, salt to intrude inside the structure. So that establishes the longevity of the structure inside the sea. And then you have seen this. This is one wonderful image which is I consider precious for me because this was a turning point in my research. When we made lot of the same images, we did extensive survey. Please refer this paper in Journal of Conservation Studies, published study from 10 years back, I think. So you can see when you see this images, you can see this round shapes, right? Can you see this? Can you see the networks here? Can you see the network here? These are all bacteria. These are all bacteria, right? When I say bacteria, what comes into your mind? You feel like some, oh, bacteria, it's not good, some harmfulness, some disease. This is what. These bacteria are called as beneficial bacteria. They are good to health. Okay, what have some millions of bacteria in your stomach, inside your stomach, which helps for your digestion. That similar bacteria, without that bacteria, your digestion, right? Similar bacteria were present in this entire material which we have taken out. So, what happening inside this water for 1,000 years? This was the question. This was the question which we want to answer for ASI. So, when I took this, then I had a so far till that this scanning image, I didn't have an idea what I'm working or, and then this was a question like, oh, bacteria are inside. First of all, I also thought there must be some decay products, there must be some problem with this. Then, when we are reading this entire thing, I understood one important concept. What is it is, so civil engineers, very civil engineers here, who knows what is bacterial concrete? Just tell me what is bacterial concrete? Yes, please. Somebody raise your hands. self-healing concrete, healing the cracks. So how do you heal the cracks? And then you add into the concrete, right? And then you apply on the floor or roof, on the roof. And then whenever the crack is formed, it tries to heal by itself. The same thing happens. But who is called father of bacterial concrete? Jonker. Jonker is called father of concrete, and he is from TU Delft, Netherlands. He is from TU Delft University, Netherlands. I traveled to him. I was in Italy for some time. 10 years back, I traveled to him. So not 10 years back, 8 years back. I just went to him and asked him, so how do you find out your bacterial conflict? We arranged a meeting with him and then I asked him, how do you find out your bacterial conflict? He said he was working on some soil and all these things. Then I showed him, sir, I found the bacterial conflict, which was nearing its almost 1300 years old, which can, then he said, well, bring some samples. We can just do a self-healing analysis in our lab and we found out really it's a bacterial conflict or what it is. But I didn't take my samples to him. I did all the self-healing studies here itself. Where this is like how bacteria are formed. I didn't add any bacteria to this. Maybe the person who constructed the golden temple did not add any bacteria in it. Okay, and the bacteria which is surveying in the salt water is a different bacteria, and the bacteria which is inside my marker are different bacteria. Okay, so they have added a set of organics. Again, I'm coming to the same point. Some plant extracts, then on fermentation. How will you prepare a for no, again, fermentation. The same thing these people have done, but they have served proper organics and they have fermented it. And the fermentation, what happened is these bacteria are developed. Whenever some cracks, whenever some salt problem comes, this bacteria becomes very active. You have to read the stories, bacteria stories. You will understand a lot of information, how this exactly works. These bacteria remain as spores. Spores is inert. They won't react to anything. This there will be millions and inert. And whenever some crack is formed on the wall, and whenever there is some water population, they become active. Okay, they become active and slowly they move around the crack. They consume water like us. They consume some lime particles from the wall and then they produce calcite and close the crack. Okay, this is what they work. So these bacteria help this structure to sustain in the sustain in this. So these are very important debate. This was under the patent. This is under the patent and then okay. And let me finish with the last one. There was Tamil in Hyderabad. This was also one of the projects. Both myself and Ravi sir have carried out this. Maybe 2016, I think. I forgot 2017 something. And then this was built by Kudub Shah. Just 400 years old building, not I think the 400 years also is a considerable time. So this was built by Kudub Shah. There are many versions. There are plague in the town, and then this Kudub Shah eradicated the plague, and then in order to celebrate that, he built Charminar. He also witnessed there is also many things like it was a gateway for Hyderabad. So there are a lot of things. What's the speciality of this building is it's a pure line building. Nothing is used except the line mortar, pure line building with the stone. So this is the Charminar. So again, I'm going for a scanning electron thing. Here, we always find out calcite formations in the line mortar, but here what happened is there was one different mineral form. That mineral was called vetrite. What is vetrite is it will not allow your building I don't want to confuse because maybe some of you are not good in technical things. How do you want to stay in? What are the measures you take to stay in? You want to become you have to stay in. Like don't want to be get chaos. So what you do? You apply some potion, you drink it, some juices, you do all the things. That's what this building is also. Right? It is 400 years old building, but it looks like 50 years old building. Okay, what's the reason is they similar to the organic combinations. I have slides, but I don't have time. So there is similar to the organic combinations which I showed in molecular paper. There is one kind of which they have used. Then the complete formation of the lime water itself changes, and this lime water doesn't use in old age because there is one mineral which is called a betrite mineral that slowly tries to transform itself to an aragonite and then it slowly transforms itself to the calcite. By the time it transforms itself to the calcite, it takes hundreds of years. So this was the formula which is used in that. So still this building looks very young and that it takes many years to age. Okay, I don't know whether I want to share this. This was the construction of the sacred grass. This was new line water building which we tried to construct. This was constructed in Auroville, Pondicherry. We tried to construct this. This project we helped Professor Rane. Rane was one person. He's not a professor. I'm sorry. He was just an ordinary man from the Holland, and then he shifted himself to Auroville, Pondicherry. He moved back along with the family, and he said, "Mommy, I want to do one line building. Will you please help me with the material testing and all these things so we can try to construct one line building. So this was the line building. Professor also came for this project. So this was the line building. Recently I visited this building also. Now with all it's occupied by many architectural students now they try to work. This is a pure line building. Whatever we learned from the historic things, we applied all our concepts and techniques and we helped them. I even tested all the materials for them at a free of cost because I really appreciate the efforts taken by Mr. Rane towards bringing out the old material to a modern construction. You know, it's a complete energy building. Now, National University of Singapore has certified this as a green building. And it also sent four postdoc PhD scholars to study this building and how this can be implemented in Singapore in recent years. So, it doesn't have any tank. It doesn't have no energy consumption. Only timbers are used as beams and columns. And then this fully right after building in this National University of Singapore, NU has also made one temperature studies and they found out like the temperature inside in the summer is 5 degrees Celsius better than outside and in winter it is around 6 to 7 degrees Celsius greater than outside sometimes. So it is a thermal comfort building. It was a thermal comfort building which we did. We are very happy about it. Now, guys, based on this building, we just made one course on, made one short-term course. The course is called Building Biology. Okay, the course name is Building Biology. Now, that course talks about how people can live in comfort when you change your materials. Right? When you change your conventional cement and these materials, when you try to use all the old materials. This course is on large cosmic again. It is being repeatedly carried out, and then this set of this thing. No lot increase because we just used Hadka jaggery, we didn't use aloe vera, we didn't use any of the materials, we just used Hadka and jaggery. And then we found the strength was almost 37% increase. The main part is we also found the calcite, aragonite, vetrite, what we found out in Charmila. The same thing also happened in this structure. So that's how we made this. And then it was still now it is very good in strength. Recently also we did one institute test on the and Padmanabhapuram Palace. I think I will just show you what are the herbs which is used. These are the herbs. Neelambari we have used, Chemkarti we have used, Kadaka we have used, bear fruit, aloe vera, jute, and then palm body, panapallu. So these are some of the things which we have used in Padmanabhapuram Palace. Restoration is going to start in already few locations we have done the restoration, but it is going to be in a full wing from next month onwards. Okay. So can I stop here because my slide goes for the and this is a Haveli Palace in Rajasthan. Um, Again, this is very special because they have used hemp. This palace is like 400 years again old, and they have used hemp. Hemp is now banned in India, but still they have used it. And they have used a lot of fibers, small fibers. So if you think that fiber reinforced concrete, which is invented by the modern man, you are totally wrong because the fiber reinforcement started 1000 years back in India. I have seen like coconut reinforcement fibers in Charminar temple. Charminar, I have seen with hemp fibers, not coconut, what's the plant? Jute fibers, all the fibers have been used in the this structure. Okay, you can see the 10 fibers which is used. I have some collection of 10 fibers also with this. These are used in Haveli Palace. Okay, this organic materials I will stop. Um, Here I have done some treatments for mural painting studies for this. These are some of the herbs which we have used for the national paintings to get, to do in certain temples in Tanjore, in Nagarkoil, Tirunelveli, and Thoothukudi districts. Okay, guys. Okay, finally, I thank you one and all for your patient hearing, and also I thank Mr. Dr. Ravi for the opportunity. Thank you, ladies. Okay. So, if you have any questions, please. Bye.
The Subramania song. So like you, I have received that 10 years back, but until I was excited about it. So exactly how to build it, it's just a development of packaging. Full variety, just in the hospital. Now, the students and they are nothing but they are making a bacteria and artificial matter. The especially of fermentation, so we came to know that we can ferment the bacteria by using the we. So can you give me some small insight while even each type of organic we can produce exactly such bacteria by using the organic? Thank you very much.
Uh, so yes, I will first find out whether any ancient scripts are there. Any ancient script is written or something like that. Whether I can decode any organic being mentioned in the ancient script. Second thing, I do a local survey around the temple. I talk to the Stapatis. The Stapatis, the temple people work there. How they did it, how do they came. That local Stapati only I talk. I never talk to a person who says you or something who can work in any temple. Local people, and I used to collect information. And this ஊர் wise இருக்கவங்க தொண்ணூறு வயசு இருக்கவங்களுக்கு நிறைய input கிடைக்கும். அப்புறம் டெம்பிள்ல இருக்க இன்ஸ்கிரிப்ஷன்ஸ் இல்லைன்னா ஃபார்ம்லிங் ஸ்கிரிப்ட்ஸ் இதெல்லாம் ஒரு இது வச்சு ஒரு ரஃபா வாட் இஸ் மை ஐடியா அபவுட் திஸ் ஆர்கானிக் அக்ரிகல்ச்சர் which will be used in that local region ஒரு கன்க்ளூஷன் தரும். ரீசன்ட் பிராக்டிஸ்ல அந்த லோக்கல் ஃபீல்ட்ல என்ன யூஸ் பண்றாங்கன்னு பார்க்கணும். அதுக்கப்புறமா மெட்டீரியல் கேரக்டரைஸ் பண்ணும்போது I use this lot of biotechnology techniques. So what I do is, whether it is carbohydrate rich, fatty acid rich, or protein rich, or what's the difference, gallic acid, what is that percent அப்படின்னு பார்த்துட்டு அதை எடுத்து வந்து இப்போ நான் செட் ஆஃப் லோக்கல் ஹர்ப் ஐடென்டிஃபை பண்ணி வச்சுக்கிறோம் கம்பேர் பண்ணுவேன் which is so much matching. Then only I decide what is the herb. Yes. Okay. So in Kerala, we are using planted. What's the Indian? First, we say in Islamic போனாலும் அவனோ the trend is lateral growth எல்லா டெம்பிள்லயும் அந்த காலத்துல டிரான்ஸ்போர்டேஷன் கிடையாது என்ன லோக்கல் மதிப்பு இருந்துச்சோ அதை எங்க போச்சு இந்த மாதிரி எல்லாம் பண்ணணும் அதுக்கு யாரும் பண்ண மாட்டாங்க டைம் ஓகே சரி
So what is the situation of the bacterial complete and what is the life cycle? Like how many years the bacterial complete can have its life?
definitely can have conflict, but I don't encourage the bacterial conflict because why I don't encourage the bacterial conflict is job for developed this in the EU Delft, we have a big laboratory and then he produces he has started a company, he is trying to selling it, but he is not successful. He is a failure model. Right? Why is failure modulus? How the concrete industry works. I go and buy a cement bag, I come to the field, I give it to my mason, that guy mixes and use it. Can I produce a bacterial concrete like that? Not possible. I need few skilled persons, a biotechnology expert, he has to produce me a bacteria, right bacteria, then mixing I need a person. So it cannot be made by a common man and it is not cost effective material also. It includes lot of cost. So I feel like in India, I don't think so bacterial concrete is going to come in the near future because the production of 1 kg of concrete is just less than 1 rupee in India, which is much cheaper than a sugar, right? 1 kg, 10 rupees or 20 rupees per kg, which is not feasible. We can find do it in a field unless we manufacture like steel in the industry and bring the like a ready-made product to the field and use it, then only it is going to happen. Okay, so maybe the cost of production of bacterial concrete is almost 10 times more than that of what we do in normal, right? Okay, thank you so much.
For the it was very interesting and interactive. Especially the concepts of reverse engineering methodology and reference with common terms made us all the complicated topics to be very so audible. Hello, Aruna. Thank you, ma'am, for the amazing lecture. It was very interesting and fun. And it was very easy to understand the complicated topics which were really easy to understand reference. And we would like to felicitate our keynote speaker with Mamanto for token of appreciation. I invite Dr. R. Ravi, Associate Professor, to present to time for lunch is being provided by Assam Food Court, which is starting of our campus. And the participants are requested to be arriving in the same auditorium hall at 1:15 p.m. Thank you. Okay. The venue of the next session will be the same hall, triple each department, 15. Good morning. Need any help for